Hey guys, LevelCap here. Today I am getting the Mastery Dog Tag for the CS5 Bolt Action Sniper Rifle available in the new Dragon's Teeth DLC. Now this, in my opinion, is one of the hardest challenges in Battlefield. Aside from getting a Mastery Dog Tag with some sort of piece of equipment, this is probably one of the tougher guns to actually get a Mastery Dog Tag with. The CS5 is incredibly hard to use. But over the course of getting 500 kills with this gun, which is what's required to get your Mastery Dog Tags, I figured out some ways to equip this gun and use it to its full potential. Now let's talk about the strengths and weaknesses of this bolt action rifle. One of its biggest strengths is its damage per second. It's actually higher than any other bolt action sniper rifle out there, especially for close quarter combat. It possesses that 100 damage maximum, giving you the ability to one-shot somebody in the chest in close quarters, again provided that they do not have the defensive perk equipped. Its rate of fire is also extremely fast, so it allows you to shoot more than one shot per second. You're going to want to equip the straight pole bolt to really take advantage of this, to make sure that you're rechambering around as fast as possible every single time. It has a 10-round magazine, so you're going to have plenty of ammo to deal with multiple targets in close range, provided that you can actually survive long enough to get through your whole mag. Now let's talk about some of the downsides to this bolt action sniper rifle, and you'll notice that I've switched over to hardcore gameplay. You'll see that there's no 3D spotted targets and there's no mini-map. Hardcore is going to allow you to one-shot any opponent with a bolt action sniper rifle regardless of getting a headshot. Except for extremely long range situations with some of the rifles, you will leave your opponents with something like 1 health. Alright, now the big downside with this rifle, and pretty much one of the only downsides to it, unfortunately it's a very big downside, is the fact that the bullet velocity stock that's without the suppressor on here is 400 meters per second. That is way slower than any other bolt action sniper rifle in the game. This means that not only is your bullet going to drop a lot for trying to hit long range targets, so you're going to have to shoot above the head to get a good headshot, but it also means that anybody who's moving around, or maybe a stationary target that you shoot at and then moves, it's going to be extremely hard for you to actually land shots at any sort of decent range. So this limits the ranged effectiveness of this rifle. I'm not saying it's impossible to get kills at long range. I was getting plenty of them, but you really have to arc your shots properly and time your shots appropriately, and basically just don't even worry about moving targets unless you got nothing else to shoot at. Now what about when you put the suppressor on this weapon? Well, it does further reduce the bullet velocity all the way down to 300 meters per second, making it incredibly slow and even harder to hit your long range targets. I decided to run with the suppressor on this weapon the whole time. It actually comes with its own custom suppressor designed for the rifle that will be equipped by default when you first unlock it, which is kind of a cool feature of it. This again is really just going to reduce your ranged effectiveness, and so what I did is I tried to configure the weapon and play to its strengths. A suppressor on here and an ACOG. You'll notice that I'm not really using the 8x sight, although there is going to be 1 or 2 clips where I have it equipped. I didn't want to use anything beyond 4x magnification so that I didn't have any scope glint. The suppressor is going to keep me off that mini map, but if I take a shot or two at an opponent, they're going to certainly look around and see where the shot's coming from, and if they see that scope glint, it's going to give away my position very quickly. So to try and even the playing fields when sniping against another sniper that's using an 8x scope and a much better bolt action sniper rifle for long range, I basically was not giving my opponents the scope glint and the easy way to pinpoint my location. I've also put the angled iron sights on there just in case I needed them, although I didn't really use them too much. You can run a laser sight on this bolt action sniper rifle, which is a good thing to do if you have good control over turning your laser sight on and off. I didn't use it mostly because I didn't want to give away my position most of the time. It is kind of funny though, because the angled iron sights on this are on the wrong side of the gun, at least for a right-handed shooter. You'll notice in a lot of these clips that I have really adapted my lead time with this rifle to hit those moving targets. It's not easy to use, and it really does take playing with this gun for about 500 kills before you start to get it down really well. And even then, it's not going to compare as well to some of the better bolt action sniper rifles out there. It's just going to be very hard to do because it's all based on prediction of your enemy's position, and people can change up their direction on the fly in this game. So if you time your shot perfectly and then your opponent stops moving or goes in a slightly different direction or jumps in the air, you're going to miss it. And here's a little bit of gameplay with the 8x scope, which is actually the default scope that you get with this weapon. We're back to playing on hardcore mode, and I'm doing pretty well with it, but you'll notice that a lot of the shots that I'm getting here, I'm not necessarily going for the head, and they're in close range enough that a 4x scope would be more than enough. So I don't really need the 8x scope, especially when slightly peering around corners like that. The glint will give you away very quickly and give your opponent a slight advantage. Now in hardcore mode, the suppressor gives you a little bit less of an advantage as it does in normal, because in hardcore you don't have your mini-map up by default. You can hit the M key to see where people are, and it will actually show you where spotted people are or people who have been firing are located, but it's a big step to actually hit that M key and take you out of the action as opposed to just glancing at your mini-map. You also can't use a secondary screen in most hardcore servers to bring up a mini-map on a second monitor. So basically the way I'm running the gun now is not what I would recommend for hardcore mode. I would take off the suppressor and put an ACOG sight on there, and you would probably be doing significantly better. Now say you are going for the mastery tag with this gun. Do you want to play in hardcore mode? Do you want to play in normal mode? Well, there's a few pros and cons. One is that in hardcore mode, you can pretty much one-shot anybody with this rifle regardless of their defensive perk. Wherever you hit them, you don't have to go for those headshots. So you can do a lot of twitch reflexes, a lot of just gut shots, and really go for the kills with this gun. And it's quite rewarding in hardcore mode. You also don't have to worry about people sneaking up on you as much. You can camp, and the kill cam will not show you show them where your hiding spot is. So those are all good benefits of hardcore mode. The downside is that the action is usually a lot slower. So although you might be getting more kills and dying less, you're not going to be doing it as fast as you would in normal mode. So one good thing about normal mode is that you usually damage your opponent enough if you don't get that first shot kill, that if one of your teammates finishes them off and you get like an 80% assist, that actually counts as a kill and will be registered as one of your 500 kills towards getting your mastery dog tag, or at least unlocking some of the cool battle packs for this gun. Right now I have a good opportunity to slow down the enemy team's push on Delta flag, and by having the suppressor on this weapon, I am attributing that a lot to the fact that the enemy is not really sure of where I'm hiding it, and I'm able to get a lot of shots at people on the point, and their teammates don't really know where the shots are coming from, so they keep sort of making the same mistake of getting on the point and not watching their backs, not checking above their heads. When I have moving targets, I generally take the shot very quickly rather than lining up for a long time. You have a larger magazine with this bolt action sniper rifle, so it's fine to miss shots. In fact, my accuracy rating with this rifle is probably considerably worse than most other bolt actions, because I'm really lining up my shot and taking my time with other bolt actions, whereas this I treat much more like a twitch reflex gun. Unless there is a stationary target, then I definitely go for the one-shot headshot, because getting a follow-up shot with this rifle can be very difficult, especially if your opponent starts to move and try and get away. Now we're nearing the mastery tag unlock, and I will admit it took me more than a day to get 500 kills. 500 kills with any bolt action sniper rifle is a tall order. 500 kills with the CS5 is an extremely tall order. I've got my good little camping location on a game of Chain Link, and I pop off a headshot there, and finally 500 kills with the CS5. This is probably one of the hardest guns again to get that mastery tag with. Now as I continue to unlock weapons for Battlefield 4, I am on a mission to get every single primary weapon mastered in this game. It's going to take a very long time, and I'm letting you guys, the viewers, actually decide what order I unlock the guns in. So let me know in the comments down below which weapon you would like me to unlock next. The video description actually has a list of the weapons that I still need mastery tags with. It's pretty extensive. Also, let me know what you think of my loadout for the CS5. Do you like the ACOG and suppressor, or do you have a different way of running this rifle? Enjoy this last collateral kill here, guys, and thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. This is LevelCap signing off.